Hey guys, so for those of you that cannot do the PhET lab due to your computer not opening it, I'm just doing this as a video for you guys. Well, I'll move along each of the questions. I'm going to read them out and then y'all can see on the screen what's going on. Hopefully that'll allow you to answer the questions as you're going. So anyway, this is just an alternative if the PhET is not working on your computer, okay? So the first thing says to move the compass. So number one, what happens to the compass as you move it from one end of the magnet to the other? So I'm just going to go ahead and move this so you can see where it's going on. Okay. So if you need to, just pause the video at any point so that you can answer what is going on. So one thing I will explain is the red side on the compass is the north end of the compass. The white side is the south end of the compass, okay, the needle. This is the south end, that's the red or the north end. Number two says, put the compass on the North Pole. Is the red part pointing towards or away from the pole? So I'm moving the compass to the North Pole. Okay. So how is your needle pointing? Okay, now it says to put the compass on the South Pole. Is the red part pointing away or toward? Okay, it's on the South Pole. So that was question number 3 now. Okay, so now we're moving to part 4, or question 4. As you move the magnet around, what happens to the magnetic field shown? So this is the magnetic field in the background. All these little arrows are the little compass arrows for the magnetic field. So watch, I'm going to move the bar magnet, okay? Okay. Just kind of pay attention as I'm moving this around. I'm trying to go slow so that y'all can see it on the video. Okay, so what do you see is happening? Okay. So you should have answered question 4. Question 5 says, how do the red arrows point around the magnet? So explain how the red on the arrows are around the magnet. Okay, part 3 says, what is going on inside? So click look inside the magnet. So I'm gonna move the magnet back up here where we were at. So see inside the magnet. Okay, so describe the many compasses found. So describe these little arrows found inside the magnet. Okay, that was question 6. Number 7 says, move the magnet around. What happens to the many compasses inside the magnet? Okay, so what's going on with the many compasses inside the magnet? Okay. Now so that was question 7. Question 8 says, move the large compass around. What happens to the many compasses inside the magnet? Okay. That was question 8. We are now moving to question 9. So it says click show planet Earth. So we're gonna add in planet Earth now. Okay. It says, is North America on the geographic north or geographic south of the Earth? So remember, North America is up here. And you should be able to see the magnet, right, behind Earth. So is that Is North America on the geographic north or geographic south of the Earth? So geographically, sorry, we weren't talking about the magnet. Geographically, right, North America is in the which hemisphere, right? South America is in the what hemisphere? So this is hemispherically talking about the Earth itself. Question 9 is related to geography. So is it in the north half or the south half of the Earth, North America? Number 10 is actually talking about the magnetic field now. So number 10 says, is North America on the magnetic north or magnetic south of the Earth? So the magnetic bar is behind it. So that should tell you if North America is on north or south. Okay. Question 11 says, is there a magnetic field inside the Earth? So remember, the magnetic field is all of these little compass arrows. So is there a magnetic field inside the Earth? What do you think? That's question 11. Okay, so now we are going back to just our bar magnet. So I'm gonna, if you're not done with the planet, go ahead and pause it. You can answer those questions. Otherwise, I'm getting rid of the planet now. Removing show planet. We just have our bar magnet. And it says, using the field meter, find the magnetic field strength at each point below. Okay, so show field meter. I don't need to see inside the magnet anymore. Okay, so I'm going to start with the point that's like kind of up over here. Okay, so you have a bunch of different points. I'm going to click on each of them and hopefully y'all can, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 points. Okay, so I'm going to do the one that's on the top left over here. Okay, so your B value is going to be this top one. It's 1.42. So whatever your B value is, just go ahead and fill these in for question 12. Okay, I'm going to move it on to the next point right outside the magnet here. Again, you're looking for your B value. Go ahead and write that in. On the south end of the magnet, again, your B value. Above the middle of the magnet, again, your B value. In the middle of the magnet, your B value. Below the magnet, your B value. The end of the magnet, your B value. I know I'm going quick, guys, so if you need to pause it, pause it. Off to the right, your B value. And the bottom right, your B value. Okay, so that was question 12. You just need to write in, again, your B values, so it's this top line on each of those. Okay, so now number 13 says, drag the cursor everywhere. Where are the B fields the strongest? Okay, so we're looking for wherever this is the largest. I'm going to drag it to the outer part of the thing here and then closer to the magnet, okay? So, okay, so up in the corner, it's 0.25, it's kind of small. 0.14 is pretty small there. 0.21 is pretty small. 0.48 is pretty small. Getting a little bit stronger now. We're in the ones. Stronger here. Stronger here. So what's happening is it gets closer to the magnet. If we're on the magnet, it's significantly larger, right? We're dealing in the 200s now. So y'all should be able to answer that one. Where are the B fields the weakest? So remember, I was moving this around everywhere. So where does it look like the weakest field is? You can rewind if you need to see what is going on with that. Okay, part 6, we're down to the last like 5 or 6 questions, or 7 questions, I don't know how many ever, 8 questions it is. Now click the electromagnetic tab at the top. It will be on the DC current or on the battery. Okay, so what are the moving parts in the wire? Look at the last box checked off to the right. Okay, So all these little circles, what are they moving through the wire? What is this? Right? 16 says, does the current flow from the positive to negative side of the battery or vice versa? Remember that current flows in the opposite direction of electrons. So we see our electrons are flowing this way. We know what end of the battery this should be, looking at just a general battery, right? So this is question 16 now, how does the current flow from positive to negative side of the battery or vice versa? Okay. Number 17 says, when you move the battery around, what happens to the red and white parts of the compass? So if I move the battery around, what happens to that compass? Okay, number 18, notice that your battery has 4 loops, which help create a magnetic field. Reduce the number of loops down to 1. What happens? So I'm going to reduce our loops. Then we're going to have to wait. Okay. Okay, so what happens when you reduce the loops from 4 down to 1? I'm going to take it back up to 4 real quick. You see what 4 is again? And back down to 1. Okay. The current battery is set to 10 volts. Now reduce the voltage on the battery down to 2. What happens? So what happens when we go from 10 volts down to 2 volts? Okay, that was number 19. Now we're moving to question 20. We only have 3 left. Switch to the AC circuit and describe what happens to the current. Okay, so we're going into an AC circuit. Okay, so what do you see that is happening? This is what the lights in the room are doing right now. Can you see it happening? Number 21 says what is happening to the red and white parts on the compass. Okay. Number 22 says turn off the AC current by sliding the left switch all the way down to 0%. Okay, what happens to the electrons? Okay, so guys, that is it. Make sure that you're getting your magnetism FET lab done. Like I said, this is just a video to help you guys out. Hopefully I've gone through all of this slow enough that you can follow along and answer the questions. If you have any questions, let me know, guys.